Good morning, YouTube. Hopefully you are all good and doing well as always, and welcome to a bulking update slash leg day vlog. So woke up this morning, weighed myself, measured myself and everything like that, and I'll update you with all of that sort of good stuff when I'm in the posing room at the gym. So this morning I've gone and had my oats. I've also gone and had to take my mum to work because her car is broken. Gone and got my steps in, had a hat on, my coat on and everything like that because it is a little bit cold. In the summer, I always think that I don't mind the winter. I'm always like, oh, it's not that bad. And the second that it's cold, I'm like, fucking hell, this is shit. I need to live somewhere else. So I'm very much excited to be going to Thailand. But as I've said with other videos, the whole reason that I went and got my steps in is because when you are bulking, it is very, very important to continue making good choices and having like a minimum sort of level of activity and sticking with it. When I didn't do that previously, I genuinely just got really chubby really quickly. And if you want to bulk properly this winter, just head to the link in the description for the Bulking Bible, which is a free guide on exactly how to build muscle this bulk and not just a bigger belly. But having said that, I don't want to waffle on for too much. I'm gonna have these crumpets, gonna have a lovely white monster, and then I'm gonna get to the gym. And it's gonna be the same session as my last video, but we're gonna be going for progressions because we are bulking. So I will film that and then I'll talk to you when I'm in the posing room. Hello, thank God that is done. I really did not enjoy that session today, and I really honestly could not be bothered with any of it. It's very rare that happens to me, but today I think because the whole session was feeling like it was sort of taking me away from other stuff that I need to do, I was sort of a little bit more thinking about like work and stuff like that, so quite annoying. I also just didn't really feel that strong. My lower back is still a little bit temperamental, so no Smith machine hip thrusts again. But despite really not feeling like it, I still saw volume increases on every single lift that I did, which is literally like the only target that I set for myself today. And I think like it's inevitable that sometimes you're gonna feel like going to the gym more than other times. And I literally, when I'm like that, I just set my goal to basically try and work as hard as possible and try and like match, if not improve upon what I've done previously. And to think that like I wasn't really feeling it and I still did so, I'm quite happy with that. Couldn't go into the posing room because of people being in there. So I'm gonna go home for some post-workout nutrition and I'll update you of how the bulk is going there. Oh, I forgot to do a cool transition, so let's do this. Back home, and the post-workout meal is going down. I've got 75 grams of Cocoa Pops and about 150 grams of milk, which of course is weighed out. And I'm also gonna be having a protein shake with creatine, which I'm gonna make up now, whilst the Cocoa Pops get nice and soggy, because that is the best way to have them. Let them soak the milk up a little bit and get a little bit soggy. Oh, it's not on properly. Brilliant. Fucking hell. Now, I know that I've said this in other videos, but like I weigh out everything. I weigh out like 99% and track like 99% of the food that I eat on a bulk. And the whole reason for it is because accuracy is very important. Not only because you can obviously see that a direct correlation between how much you're eating and like your weight gain and your fat gain and stuff like that, if you're measuring yourself and all that sort of stuff. But also it's just like the goal of a bulk is to gain muscle, right? It's not to get excessively fat. And previously when I did like my first sort of like proper bulk, like the first time I ever gave it a go sort of on my own, I just lost like all discipline, picked up a lot of bad habits, didn't track any of my food, and then just got really fat really quickly. And as a result, I ended up having to spend like 7 or 8 months cutting down. And that's like a period of time that if I had been much more structured with my bulk, much more accurate, I would have seen much more muscle growth and development, especially because like, even with like tracking my lifts and stuff like that, I didn't even bother with that. But also I would have spent much less time having to cut down. So much less time like dieting and sort of missing out on things and being like disciplined in regards to all of that and feeling hungry. But also I could have got back to a point of like gaining muscle and eating in a surplus much quicker. And ultimately, like a more structured bulk is only going to improve the amount of progress that you see throughout the bulk, but also decrease the amount of work that you're gonna have to do the next year. So it's like over this winter, for example, it is so fucking important that you are like nice and structured with how you're bulking. You're still disciplined, you're still paying attention to everything like that. Because ultimately, whilst you can be short-sighted and just think, you know what, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want, like, and it is sort of like fun to do inevitably, you will pay the price for it, as I did. And you're not going to look as good like next summer. So if you want to look good next summer, you need to make sure that you're nice and structured with your bulk. These are going to be really soggy right now, but I'm going to have those, have my protein shake, and I'll see you upstairs when I update you of how everything's going. I know that obviously I'm going to look like a weirdo with a hat on, but I am genuinely so cold today. I do not know why on earth I am as cold as I am. And I've already gone and filmed this video once through, but the mic was just being a stupid boy and kept making like a crackling noise, so that was quite annoying. I've also had a wash, but I'm just wearing the same jumper. I've also got another layer on underneath because I'm that cold. But anyway, a bit of an update with where things are at the moment. So this morning I weighed 75.5 kilos. My waist measurement was a little bit up, but I did feel a little bit bloated this morning as well. So that's now 80.7 centimeters, which is about 3 centimeters up from where it was at the start of the bulk. And I'm certainly looking like a little bit fuller and a little bit bigger. Like, for example, I'm noticing when I'm doing like leg press and stuff like that, for example, I notice that my legs look a little bit bigger than they did previously, which is always a decent sign. But this is the sheet that I use with clients and also for myself as well. And as you can see, so I've been tracking all of my food and like my weight and stuff like that nice and consistently, exactly as I would with clients. And for the first couple of weeks of this, it was a little bit of like a reverse diet, just getting the food up, which is why calories were a little bit lower. But now I've gone and made some changes and the calories are higher. So 3,160 on training days and then 2,860 on non-training days. The main thing that I focus on with my like macros is mainly the protein, making sure that I hit the protein, and then the carbs and the fats can sort of change around as required. Last Wednesday here was when Erin and I went to I keep saying Dirty Bones, but it's Beefy Boys. So that was a little bit of a guesstimate day, quite high on the fat with that day. But again, as you can see with the measurements, I keep like my waist measurements nice and consistently, and then I do this like once a month to see how this is progressing, like these measurements. And as you can see here, I am going to be muscle building until going to Thailand, and it's all like mapped out and I know exactly where I want to be by that. By this time, I want my maximum weight to be around about sort of like 77 kilos. So from the start to now, I've gone from like around about 74 kilos to now 75.5 kilos. So I've gained around about 1.5 kilos. So around about sort of like 3 to 4-ish pounds of weight. Now, I could have like gone with more of a surplus and then seen more body weight increases. However, ultimately, as I mentioned previously, the main thing that I'm looking for is trying to gain muscle. That is a slower process, and I think that if my body weight had been going up, it wouldn't necessarily be a case that I'm gaining much more muscle. It would probably just be a case that I'm gaining much more fat. So I would want to keep that in mind. But my plan is for the next couple of hours, I'm going to be cracking on with work. I've already gone and had some chicken and rice in between because I did a little bit of work prior to updating you with this. So my plan is to see you when I'm out for my walk later on because I need some things to crack on with. So I will talk to you very shortly. Good evening. I'm out getting my steps in for the last bit of the day. It's starting to get dark. It's quite picturesque behind me. I can see that like the sun is setting and all that sort of stuff. Looks quite cute. Gone and done all my work. For some reason I feel considerably less cold right now. I had a humongous potato, which was like 1/2 kilo on its own, which is just a ridiculously sized potato, and some tuna. My calories are like 2.9k at the moment, so I just need to have like a little bit of carbs to end the day and that's a full day of eating done. But I'm out obviously getting my steps in. Got 3,000 steps to do, and one thing, right, Obviously, I know I banged on about steps enough today, but as a lad, if it gets to the end of the day and you're like, oh, it's a bit dark, don't want to go get my steps in, just fucking grow up. But I understand it as like a woman, because realistically, bad things can happen. But like as a guy, you just need to just fucking grow a pair. Like back in the day, 80 years ago, you would have been fighting in war and you're scared to go out for a fucking walk when it's dark. Absolutely ludicrous. It's not like you live in, I don't know, the Bronx or something like that. So just man up, realistically. That's enough of my Andrew Tate beliefs for one video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. As always, like and subscribe. And if you do want to bulk without just getting a bigger belly and actually gain some muscle, the Bulking Bible, the link is in the description. I'm also offering 4 weeks of free coaching for anyone that's looking to lose fat, but if you're still watching this video, you're probably not. So I'll put that in the description as well. Follow me on Instagram at CoachRecontrol if you don't already. And look forward to seeing you in the next video. Adios, and hasta luego.